Hello, Cherie Hansen here. I would like to suggest to you to kindly come on my YouTube channel and subscribe. Um, all of the new information that I'm gathering is to share so that we can go into this new reality that is forming now, more prepared and more filled with intention. So, today I am reading The Art of Communicating by Thich, Nhat, Hahn, and we are into mindful meetings, which I think is really interesting because it is a very good practice to keep in mind that even Zoom meetings or remote meetings can be mindful. So how do you optimize the best communication possible? And he is a wise man who can give us information. Our communication in meetings can often be a source of tension, stress, and conflict at work. Sometimes we rush from one meeting to another, so we arrive already anxious or distracted. It will help to schedule a few minutes at the beginning of any meeting to sit quietly together. If people in your workplace are open to having a bell sound before the meeting begins, that sound can help everyone come back to their breathing and find more calm. If people don't want to start the meeting by sitting together quietly for a few moments, you can still arrive at the meeting a few minutes early so you have time to relax and breathe mindfully. Perhaps other people will see your example and join you the next time. You don't need to say anything or make a point of letting others know what you're doing. Just do it and enjoy the benefit that it brings you. It can be helpful in setting the tone of a meeting to open with a spoken agreement that the participants will respect each other's words and be open to the views of others. If we try to impose our views on others, we only create tension and suffering at work. So in any meeting, practice being open and listening to the experience and the insight of others. If you have a wonderful idea and are eager to share it, that's good. But you shouldn't be so eager to share your ideas that you drown out the ideas of others. Invite everyone to express their ideas. Trust that the best ideas will emerge from this process as a collective wisdom. During the meeting, practice using loving speech and deep listening. Following your breath as you listen. Let one person speak at a time without interruption. Don't get caught up in verbal duels. Speaking from your own experience and address the whole group whenever you talk. If you have questions or concerns, place them in the center of the circle for the whole group to contemplate and to address. This may be challenging. It is likely a new culture for conducting meetings, one that is different from the way meetings have been run in the past. You don't have to try to change the culture all at once. If everyone agrees to listen mindfully and without interruption, this is wonderful. But even if it's only you who follows these guidelines and makes a commitment to speak and listen with compassion, it will have a positive effect, creating community at work. And this is a big one I'm hearing from a lot of people these days. If you're modeling compassionate communication at work, soon others may be interested in practicing mindful breathing, sitting, and walking with you. If you're surrounded by people who are practicing mindfulness together, you'll all be supported by the collective energy, and mindful speech and deep listening will become much easier. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you see things you can do to change your work environment in a positive way. When we practice mindful speech and deep listening, our way of communicating becomes a bell of mindfulness for everyone. When you walk mindfully, enjoying every step you take, this encourages others to do the same, even if they don't know that you're practicing mindfulness. When you smile, your smile supports everyone around you and also reminds others to smile. When you practice, your presence has a positive effect on you and those around you. A rock in the river. All of us have difficulties at work sometimes. We all have our own pains, sorrows, and fears. Often at work, we don't give ourselves time or space to recognize and embrace these strong emotions. So our tension comes out in unintentional ways. This can make communication difficult. But none of us needs to embrace pain and sorrow alone. When you throw a rock into a river, no matter how small the rock is, it will sink to the bottom of the river. But if you have a boat, you can carry many tons of rocks, and they won't sink. The same is true of our suffering. Our sorrow, fears, worries, and pain are like rocks that can be carried by the boat of mindfulness. If we give ourselves the time and space to embrace and recognize the suffering, we won't sink into the ocean of anger, worries, and sorrows. We become lighter. We can practice mindfulness alone, but we can find more ease and joy if we can bring mindful communication into our work environment and have the support of others who are practicing mindfulness with us. Don't expect to change your work environment overnight. But if you make a diligent effort to practice compassionate communication, both within yourself and with your colleagues, you are taking steps in the right direction. And that is good enough. And I find that so beautiful that he points out that it isn't about climbing a mountain overnight. It's about taking steps. And the process is, first of all, communicating with ourselves, understanding what we're feeling, looking at our own anger, grief, worry, pain, suffering. And when we're aware of that, then we are present to help others. When we're aware of our own storm, then we're in a position where we can stay calm, and the purpose of communication is then to relieve the suffering of both people. And that's a delightful thought. We change the world by seeing what's inside ourselves. Thank you. Do come on and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would be very grateful if you did that. Thank you.